Now that you have your salmon cut, first thing that you want to do is to take a nice piece of your salmon and give it a nice little cut. We'll take this, and if you would, Ray, put that into the refrigerator for me. I appreciate it. Now, tartare is cutting your meat into small bite-sized pieces, raw meat. So you have tuna tartare, you have steak tartare, but today, of course, we're going to use salmon. Now, one way to get your salmon to cut a little bit easier would be to actually take it and put it into the refrigerator and let it get real nice and cold. When it gets cold, that meat firms up, and then you can get an easier slice, okay? But today we're going to go ahead and use it this way. And as you see, you want to go ahead now and just cut it into nice smaller pieces, just like this. And if they seem to get a little bit too large, you can come and you can cut that salmon once more this way at an angle, and then start back in and make smaller pieces out of it, just like so. Okay. Go ahead, give it a cut right down the middle. And you can start cutting again. One thing that you always want to remember, and I will always continue to show you, is that you want to use that claw hand. That claw hand is where you take your fingers, groove them all together, and put it right at the edge of where you want to cut, whether it's salmon, a bell pepper, onion, and this will guard your fingers from being cut or getting cut by the knife. Now, once we finish cutting up this salmon, the next thing that we're going to do is to take it and put it inside the refrigerator and let it sit for a while so it can get nice and cool. And you want to make sure that the salmon that you're using, the beef that you're using, the tuna that you're using, whenever you're doing a tartare, is of top grade quality, because you have to remember, this is raw. This is a raw product. So you don't want to have an inferior product going inside your system, especially if it's raw. So you want to make sure that it's sushi grade tuna, sushi grade salmon, or a very high grade of beef or buffalo if you're going to do like a beef tartare or a tartare using meat. Okay? So now, we have our salmon, as you see, it's cut up, and we'll take that, put it inside of a bowl, and then we'll put that inside of our refrigerator just to hold. And then we'll go into making our marinade for our tartare. Ray, if you don't mind, put that in. Okay? Now we'll take some time, wash our knife off, and put our cutting board into the wash so that we don't have to worry about it. And then we'll go into now making our marinade. Okay, now with our marinade for our tartare, I'm going to use a couple of different ingredients. And the first ingredient that we're going to start with is our grapeseed oil. Okay, we're using grapeseed oil because it doesn't have any flavor whatsoever. Okay, some people say yes, we want to use a little olive oil, but olive oil has some flavor to it, and I don't want that flavor to come into what we're trying to do today. So we're going to start off with some grapeseed oil, about 2 teaspoons of grapeseed oil. We're going to use about 1 teaspoon of our sesame oil. We're going to use some sambal, which is an Asian chili sauce. Okay, we're going to add some of that in. It's going to give it a little bit of heat, not too much. Then we're going to add in some mirin, which is a sweet rice wine. Next, we'll put in some ponzu. Ponzu is actually soy sauce that has a little bit of citrus in it. Okay, we'll put that in. And then we're also going to add in just a little bit of orange zest as well. Okay, we'll take our whisk and whisk that around just like so. And now that we've done that, we can go ahead and bring back out our salmon. Okay, now that we have our salmon out of the refrigerator, we're going to go ahead and add a couple of ingredients to our salmon. First thing we're going to add is a little bit of chives and green onions that we've cut up. Okay, we're going to add that in. It does two things. It's going to add a little flavor. Well, really three. It adds flavor, a little contrast as far as texture, because it's going to add a little crunch to it. And then it's going to also add some color, which is wonderful. Because as you know, we eat with our eyes before we eat with our mouth. Next, we're going to add in some fresh ginger. I love ginger, so we're going to add a little bit more since I love it. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and add in some of our marinade to that. Now, we're not going to use all of our marinade because we're also going to use that marinade to actually sauce our plate once we're done. So we're going to take some of that with our orange zest, the sambal, and all of that good stuff and put it right into our bowl. Then we're going to go ahead and mix that around just like so. Okay. And because we have the ponzu in there, which already is a little salty, we're not going to add a whole lot of salt to it. But one thing that we definitely want to do is to add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. Not a whole lot though, because you have to be cognizant of your ingredients. And I know that one of our ingredients for sure has a high sodium content, which would be our ponzu, and the sambal also has some salt in it. Now that we have this, as you can see, we have everything put together and it looks really, really good. The next thing that we want to do is to take our plating, take our plate. We're going to put a little mold. If you don't have a ring mold like this, you can go right to the store and go right in the section where they have the cupcake section. And you can find little metal cups, the little aluminum cups, and you can put all of your tartar right inside of that cup, turn it over, and then it'll come right out as a nice little mold. But today, we're going to go ahead and fill up our mold and with our tartar. So let's start with that. I'm going to put it right in the center and pile it up. And it's okay when you unmold it if it falls apart a little bit. You just have to go with the flow sometimes. And what I'm doing is kind of setting you up. So if I pull this out and it falls out a little bit, then I've already prepared you for it. Okay, so now, once you have all your pieces in, you want to give it a nice little push so that everything can kind of stick together. All right, I'm going to move this out of the way. Now, the next thing that you want to do is go ahead and start to sauce your plate. Now, what I've already made is what I call an aioli. Okay, it's a Thai red curry aioli. And what it is actually mayonnaise. It has red Thai curry paste, a little pickled ginger juice. You know, the ginger that you find at the sushi place, well, you can find that right at your grocery store, and take some of the juice from that. And we're also going to use a little bit of our ponzu in there as well. Okay, and we're going to take that and we're going to take and make a nice little, now that's not what we want trying to do. What we're going to do is take that and make a nice little design right on our plate. And it's always good to use a squeeze bottle because it's very precise and it helps you to make your plate look very, very nice and very decorative. Because again, what do? We eat with our eyes before we eat with our mouths. Am I right? So now that we have that, we can go ahead and take our tuna. Boom. There we go. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is take some ribbons of cucumber, put that right on top, just like so. right. Now, once we have that, then we're going to go back with our marinade. Just drizzle it right across the top of our salmon tartar. Because now what you're actually doing is you're seasoning up your garnish. And then we're going to finish it off with a few of our wonton chips, because you're going to need that to go right inside and to taste your tartar. And there you are, your Asian-inspired salmon tartar with wonton chips and your red Thai chili aioli. Now, we'll come back. When we get ready to come back, what we're going to do is take that salmon, we're going to crisp up that skin, and I'm going to show you how to make that watermelon salsa. So stay tuned until we come back. Thank you.
Fresh thinking is being served at Miami-Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.